wrestling fans, more importantly, AWE fans, joining me at this time. He's the handsome devil, the necessary evil. He is Drew Hood. How are you,
Yes,
bud?
sir. I am doing fantastic, phenomenal, all bold, italicized, underlined, all capital letters. It is a great day to be me.
Seems like every day's a great day to be you.
You know what? That is an accurate statement. I would say that that's about as accurate as saying I'm AWE's newest, hottest commodity. I feel like it's as accurate and correct of an opinion and a fact and a truth as that.
Well, and to piggyback a certain person on Monday nights that uses a similar thing. I mean, at least two known media people and Georgia wrestling history have said as much in recent recaps of your match that not only did you put on size, but that you might be one of those next top acts.
Mm. The size comes from a lot of chicken and broccoli and rice and your normals, but lifting weights, moving heavy, and working with intensity. Uh, but I will say that as far as my work is concerned with professional wrestling, not to sound overly egotistical as I already am super confident in myself, but I've been like that. It's just now that I've been able to start to push myself further and further out there so that the world can see the brand. But now that I'm on big stages where people can witness this, now everyone's saying, oh, he's that guy. And now I get to just revel in the fact that I've been right this whole time. I just needed the platform to do so.
Isn't it nice when the world figures out what you've been saying the whole time?
Makes it so much easier.
It really does. It really does. Now, of course, I'll be honest. Until the last AWE show, you were a name and a face, and a few videos on the internet that I had seen. Uh, was a little familiar with your work, but getting to
Mm.
see you work against one Alexander Lev, that really got my attention because, truth be told, I was one of those media people that said Alexander Lev is a tough out and a tough matchup for a lot of people. Not only were you hanging with him, but you were pushing him a lot of the time. And was that the first time you guys have faced off?
That was our first ever matchup. I believe we have never really, Lev and I have never really battled one on one before or any multi-mans or anything like that, not to my immediate knowledge. So I believe that was our first ever just encounter within the scope of just 1v1, a professional wrestling contest. And like a lot of people were saying, even with Drago and Carly Bravo putting on a phenomenal main event, there was still one other match that everybody kept referencing and talking about
Mm-hmm.
and saying,
Mm-hmm.
"Holy sugar honey iced tea, what a show stealer!" So, mm,
Yeah, I was one of those people that it is what it is. There's always one on a card that just sneaks up on the main event like that, and I thought this more than snuck up on it. So uh, look forward to whatever the next one is. Which, of course, you are going to be back in the El Palenque Event Center this Sunday for AWE Homegrown, one of their biggest anniversary shows. Um, at the moment, we don't know who your opponent is, do we?
we don't. It's a big giant mystery to me. However, I thrive in those sort of environments, especially considering this is now my second time going to AWE. I want this to be heard by all the sinners and heathens of the world. This is my second time being at AWE. I'm already front and center on this poster for their big anniversary show. Underneath Cedric freaking Alexander, Joe Black, and a litany of other top tier elite caliber athletes and performers. So I'm already there, front and center. So whomever so chooses or volunteers to step foot into the ring with me, we'll just put it out there. You're entering Hell's Playground. I'm the handsome devil that runs this shit. I would love nothing more than anybody to just step up to the newest, hottest commodity.
I look forward to who they figure out or who is brave enough to sign and take that on. Maybe we don't find out until the music hits when we're there.
I would love that. You know what? Even better. Even better. Surprise me. I beg you. I beg you. Anybody, just surprise me. Surprise me with something.
I know one of the powers that be over there, so maybe I sneak that thought into their head, like, hey, let's put them in a separate dressing area where Nobody knows until the music hits.
Easy for me. I'm very hard to come by in terms of surprise and shock and awe because I'm usually the one doing that sort of thing. So I we'll put this out there. If you put that in their heads, then I'll put this out there in the public eye, in the public ear. I'm in. Deal made and sealed. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Don't have to tempt you with a good time, right?
Nope, not at all.
Something I live by. Don't tempt me with a good time. I just might like it.
Hmm. I'm gonna love it, thrive in it, as always.
Oh yeah. And of course, like I said, AWE shows are just they're like nothing else. That's part of what draws me to the shows that I go and that I cover and that I write about and that I have guests from is I like shows that are different and different in a good way because there's some different out there that they need to work on some stuff. But this show is just it reminds me of this very carnivalistic. Just you have no idea what's coming next. And even if you do, I promise you, this is you can't. What happens in front of you is nothing you could have made up on your own.
Exactly. And AWE has been a premier destination, a place that I've known about ever since I broke onto the scene about 7 to 8 years ago. And it was always in the back of my mind. It was at the forefront for a long time. But then, of course, with hiatuses and pandemics and some other things, it was like, okay, now's not the time. So backtracked it. And, a little insider baseball for everybody. I put in an inquiry because I had seen that they had done a talent roll call announcement of sorts and said, if you are interested in working here, please send in your resumes and we'll see what kind of contracts and deals we can cook up. And I delayed it by a couple weeks, but then I said, maybe this is worthwhile. Maybe this is something that I should just go ahead and do because AWE, again, in my mind, is, as you just said, something different. And it brings a trend setting sort of vibe to the table. So I sent in my inquiry, and within that same 2 days on the show, and that show was like a week and a half later, or maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks later. So I would say that AWE is probably very, very happy with their last minute investment.
Which is why it makes a better case for your opponent to be last minute notice.
I'd be super down, super in. Put me in an environment where everyone thinks I'm going to drown and I swim because I'm the great white shark, baby.
There you go. And of course, he is Drew Hood, the handsome devil, and the necessary evil, as we have said before. Um, we always say that the best versions of us, I'm quoting you from earlier this week, too, the best versions of us are that part of us that we turn up to 11.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's 11 inside the ring, how much of you is it? How much is that, on the scale, normal walking around?
So, that is whenever I'm performing, whenever we say perform, but it's just me being me. Whenever I'm out there, whether it's in a a promo or a professional wrestling contest, or it's at the shows, or wherever the case may be, that's just who I am. That is how I was born. That's how my personality was chemically wired in my brain. That's how it all just is. But if people see me on the street side or they see me walking around, generally, as a rule of thumb, it's DTA. Don't trust anyone. I'm a very, very to myself human being. I very much so enjoy my own peace and my own quiet. So when you see a loudmouth, trash-talking son of a gun who just so happens to be a handsome devil who is larger than life and athletic sumbitch, somebody that can do a lot of things and just be like that nobody else really can do or be like, I'm not necessarily going to keep the same loud energy when I'm out and about because I don't really necessarily feel that doing it for free is necessary. I will do it if I'm paid to. There's been, for a small example, a show where I was just minding my own business, but someone said that they would pay me to, no joke, get their manager to go in the ring and pose for everybody. They paid me, got his ass in there, and we did it, and I got paid more money. So
Yep.
as long as the deal is made, I'm up for anything. I am super down for anything. But if you're not going to pay me, if you just want me to dance and whatever for you for free. That's not going to happen. It's not going to be like that. So whenever you see me out and about doing my own thing, ladies and gentlemen, uh, uh, leave me alone unless you got your fat stacks in your wallet.
There you go. There you go. I like that. I like that. That goes for Impact Media too. For everybody who doesn't know, it's we'll listen to any deal if it's good enough. We may try it.
Yes, sir.
So for now, since we don't know your opponent, is there anybody in particular you've seen on the show before or in the area or anybody just that comes to mind that, I mean, I don't want to do AWE's work for them because they don't pay me to do it. Goes back to what you just said. But
Right.
is there somebody, even if you don't want to say their name, is there somebody in particular that comes to mind? You're like, I would like to get a piece of them.
It's an extensive list because when it comes to Georgia wrestling, we'll keep it to Georgia for now, just for the state, because I
Yep.
could give you this huge laundry list of dozens upon dozens of people that I see and say, yes, please give me. However, within the scope of Georgia, uh, bold statements, that's what we thrive off, right?
Hmm.
I am currently a champion in a promotion in Georgia that is very notable. I would like to say that it draws hundreds upon hundreds of people. It has high quality production, if you haven't heard of it before, to give them the little bit of clout and semblance here. It would be Viral Pro Wrestling out of Augusta, Georgia. So
Hmm.
I'm currently their heavyweight champion and been their champion since the end December of 2024. And we are now in 2026, so do that math. And we've just grown bigger and bigger and bigger. So I look at myself and I look around and I say, I'm a top talent in Georgia. I may be from North Carolina, I may reside in Raleigh, but whenever I come to Georgia, I matter a lot. In Phoenix wrestling experience out of Augusta as well, whenever I'm in a Georgia promotion, I'm known. So I'm already, in my eyes, because you alluded to earlier as well, you've seen some of the work. You knew some of the name, you knew some of the face, you knew some of the product and the branding. That means I'm known. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's more about the Georgia wrestling scene trying to step up to my level, trying to find me. That way, we can raise ourselves together. However, being that as it may, I'm fresh to AWE. So,
Hmm.
I would say, first and foremost, let's just put it out there that I want to create magic, money, and moments. So, whoever fits that billing, let's do that.
And there are some people in my head, but once again, AWE does not pay me to book things, so that will stay in my head. Simple enough. And that's not a way to entice them to do that because we all know the powers that be there, and they do it very well.
They do. They do phenomenally. And I would love nothing more because I'm sure they've got some genius idea cooked up for me on Sunday. So I I'm antsy. I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see what they got for me.
I am very antsy, and anybody that is listening to this now should be. If you're not, check your pulse. I'm going to say that multiple times. This show sells itself. Tickets are so easy to get. Find them on any social media. There's usually a link you can click. The El Palenque Center. It's like $15 to go to this show, and that's ridiculous because the kind of talent you're going to see, the kind of action you're going to see, it should be way more than that. Now, I hope they don't raise prices because I just said that, but that place it might pack out, so be there early. Try to get your tickets, everything like that. But um, let me get into your finishers a little bit because kind of want to see the origins of where these come about. Like, how did you choose? Let's start with the Dancing with the Devil, the Impaler DDT. Like, where origin of that? Like, obviously you didn't cover your eyes, throw a dart at the wall. There has to be something that it just felt right.
Originally, I saw the maneuver performed by Gangrel. For those of you that do not know, Gangrel, the vampire, is a legend within the professional wrestling industry. And it was just something about it. It was just because as a Jake the Snake Roberts fan, who hit
Mm.
the most deadly DDT in the history of professional wrestling, the extra oomph with the lift, I thought, I do enjoy lifting and throwing people, but I do
Mm.
enjoy the simplicity, the keep it simple, stupid method of driving someone's head into the mat and knocking them clean out. So the thought process was a DDT with a little pizzazz. I'm a big fan. So that would be the majority of thought. And then also, too, a glorious, glorious professional wrestler at one point in time, Mr. Glorious himself. I love Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode was the man, and
Oh
he
yeah.
hit it expertly. So try to match up to a glorious DDT of sorts.
Maybe we could work on your next entrance. Get one of the revolving stages and everything, because then we
Whoever's
could
got
pile
the
in there.
budget for it, I'm in.
Yeah, that's I think that would be nice. We might have to work on that. But then
I
of
agree.
course you have the ninth circle, which is the crucifix power bomb, correct?
Yes, sir.
Where did that come about?
Now we're just getting in the nitty gritty of who my favorites in the history of professional wrestling are. Razor Ramon, the bad guy. Nice guys finish last, according to him, and he's not wrong. So Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, however you choose to remember him, was one of my favorite all-time just personas in professional wrestling. Whenever he was on screen, you could feel the ooze of charisma through the screen. You could actually feel his machismo, and
Hmm.
it was mind-blowing. It's like, how do you, as a human being, a normal human being with a beating heart and flesh like the rest of us, come through the screen like that? So there was just something about him, and the vignettes that would play before his
Oh yeah.
debut, his line of work, of course. I figure why not pay tribute to somebody that gave me an inspiration to be that guy that you can feel through the screen, somebody that you felt that even though he's a bad guy, kind of cool. He's kind of there's something magnetic about him. There's a magnetism that draws you in. So that is where this ninth circle is from. And also the sinners and heathens of the world that need to atone for all their sins and pay for it in blood. I'm gonna send you to the ninth circle.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. It's one good way to do it, because otherwise known as the crucifix bomb. It's a way to really punish the heathens for sure.
Mhm.
And then to hit the trifecta, you got the reverse Boston Crab. What did you call that
Mm.
one?
I did call that the Devil's Curse in
The Devil's Curse.
adage to the original name of the move, which is the Billy Goat's Curse.
Hmm.
Um, that one came about because, well, no, it's just broken record time. Another personal favorite of all time is Randall Keith Orton, Randy Orton. He is probably, I would say, he should be at the very least top five of all time for literally anybody's lists. He's been smooth with it. He's been fluid with it. He's been that guy. He's just prime peak apex predator, and I in particular am a big enjoyer of the Viper whenever he was buzz bald headed and he was punting family members and he was RKOing anything that moved. Randy is someone that I idolize as the handsome devil himself. He's someone that I definitely aspire to emulate, not imitate necessarily, because imitation may be the sincerest form of flattery, but I do want to carve my own path. But he's someone that I do like to emulate. And I saw Randy one just random, I believe it was a SmackDown, maybe it was a pay-per-view, could have been either or. He had locked in this reverse Boston, and I believe the time scale was around like 2011 or so. And I thought to myself, interesting. Fast forward years later to this year, where I'm sitting and I'm going, nobody really has submission moves anymore. Nobody has a
Yeah.
notable submission that they can lock in and people know what's coming. Usually people just like to slap on an ankle lock if they're a technical wrestler or an amateur wrestler. Some people like to throw on a crossface. I've seen the Boston Crab making a slow, nice little comeback, but
Yeah.
that's the walls of Jericho. So I thought to myself, what can I do? And for whatever reason, it just snapped in my head and I said, you know what? I really like that reverse Boston. So as soon as I fine tuned it and perfected it, started applying it, I've actually gotten a handful of submission wins, just depending. So, whatever wins me the match, whenever that bell rings, that's going to be what puts them away.
Absolutely. And I favor that version of that move as well, because you're actually looking over the top of your opponent instead of having your back to them. So you can actually see if they're trying to wiggle loose, if they're trying to call for help, if they're trying to tap out, whatever it is.
It's
you're in
strategic,
control of it still.
strategic, brain power.
Absolutely. As we're finishing up here, of course, with the Handsome Devil and the Necessary Evil, Drew Hood is going to be at the AWE show this weekend at the El Palenque Entertainment Center in Marietta, Georgia. For people who are not that familiar with where that is, it's just a mile or so past the Big Chicken. I promise you, if you can find the chicken, and everybody can, it's right past that.
Hmm.
But, what would you, well, let me start back there. What, what was that day where it clicked that you want to try this wrestling thing? When did you get bit by professional wrestling?
There have been, it's a whole timeline. So to try and condense it, because this could be a whole podcast within of itself. Um,
Yeah,
the
then keep this
first
summary now. We'll have you back on. You can elaborate the whole story then.
The first instant was watching the Hardy Boys DVD, where this was like 2009, 2008, something around that time. And they were talking about their backyard fed that translated to an
Mm-hmm.
actual public fed that translated to the rest of their career. Watching that with friends, I said, this looks like fun. I have a trampoline. There's a whole other story for everything else, but that was the first moment of me being like, this would be great to do. Fast forward many years later, it was a WrestleMania, and I was sitting there with my friends, and I don't remember why, but it was WrestleMania 33, the one that was down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it was around the time that AJ and Shane opened the show. That's right, AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon opened the show. And as that match was ending, for some reason in my head, it was just like, I could be there. I don't know what it was. I just sat there. I said, I could be there. I could be performing in front of tens of thousands of people. I could perform for millions across the world. And then just a little bit longer, more. Unfortunately, it was because I was in a rut period in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I thought to myself, I am getting to a point where I need to take the step now and become a professional wrestler, or I just need to give that up, take a desk job, and probably just toil away for the rest of my life. And that was around 2018. And as soon as I had that thought, I said, I need to do this now. And then that is when I started to become a professional wrestler. And fast forward 7 to 8 years, here we are today.
There you go. I look forward to the elaborated version of that too, because I think there's some really good chunks and good stories in there. But
A lot.
that's quite an interesting path.
There's a lot, a lot.
I could tell there was. So hopefully that enticed people to tune in the next time we have you on, which will hopefully be in the very near future. But um, I will leave you with the last word tonight, as if you have a message for whoever your opponent could be, or for any fan who is not sure if they should come out and see everything the Handsome Devil and the Necessary Evil is going to bring to the table, why they should put down that money and be there on
Mm,
Sunday with the rest of us.
mm. We live in tumultuous times, ladies and gentlemen. I understand that times are hard, the economy is rough, and it is very, very hard to find entertainment that you want to spend your hard-earned money on. I can guarantee you that Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, AWE, I can guarantee you that this huge trend-setting show, homegrown, their anniversary style show, it is going to be off the charts. It is going to be huge. You can come see the stars of today and tomorrow. You can come see us while we are able to perform in front of you here before a lot of us go on to transcend and become multi-millionaires. We can become superstars within the professional wrestling scope. What you can see from me personally is you can see me introduce anybody and everybody who wants to get these hands to Hell's Playground, where I'm the handsome devil that runs this shit, and I am a trendsetter myself. I am a standard bearer myself. I, very much so, can be a gatekeeper of professional wrestling. I can be that measuring stick that anybody and everybody can step up to see if they can hang.
There you go. I don't think it could be said any better. If you guys want to know what the rest of the card looks like, go to my social media, go to their social media, go to his social media. His social media, I never know which way this thing's pointing. But he is the Handsome Devil and the Necessary Evil. He is Drew Hood. And we will see you all on Sunday at the El Palenque Center for AWE Homegrown. Until
Sure.
then, deuces gooses, go watch wrestling, especially indie wrestling.